The girl I was dating online was a rich kid from a city. The night before we were supposed to meet up, I overheard her on a call with her best friend. I'm just messing around. I've never dated anyone so broke and dumb before. Meet up? No way. One of you has time, right? Go in my place and just get rid of him. I didn't make a scene. The next day, I showed up at the meeting spot just like we planned. And I took the girl's hand. She gave me a long, deep look but didn't pull away. That night, the rich girl called, her tone respectful. Jasmine, did you get rid of him? Jasmine looked at me, her body pressed against the wall, and her voice came out hoarse. Yeah, he's gone. I came to meet Tina in person. She acted like it was a huge deal, making vague excuses about being busy. It wasn't until that night that I went invisible and slipped into her game lobby. I'm just messing around with GC. He's from some small town. How could I ever be serious with him? My stomach dropped. That was Tina, talking in her usual spoiled tone. Why mess around then? Something new. I've never dated anyone so broke and dumb before. Her friends giggled. But he's here to see you. So annoying. Even as she said it, you could hear the smugness in Tina's voice, as if it proved how irresistible she was. Tina, you should probably just go meet him. Yeah, he's already here. If you don't like him, at least tell him to his face. It sounded like her friends had more of a conscience than she did. But Tina wanted nothing to do with it. Meet up? No way. I'm afraid he'll be an eyesore. What do you mean? Is he ugly? The guy refused to send me a picture, so he's probably hideous. Besides, what kind of hot guys come out of a small town like that? Then, Tina added, hey, who's free tomorrow? Can one of you go for me? I don't know if that's a good idea. It's fine, he doesn't know what I look like. Just go and brush him off. I didn't think anyone would take her up on it. But suddenly, a voice broke the silence. I'll go. Tina was stunned. Her tone became cautious. Jasmine, I couldn't ask you to do that. It's fine. I'm free tomorrow anyway. The person called Jasmine had a cool, distant voice. It was like a jolt of electricity through my brain. To be blunt, her voice was so good it made my head spin. I glanced at her username. Jasmine. It was her real name. When I used to play games with Tina, her friends would sometimes spectate. Jasmine was one of them. Someone as arrogant and bossy as Tina was always unusually respectful and polite to Jasmine. I had no idea what her background was. I didn't have a strong impression of Jasmine because she rarely spoke. Why would she volunteer for this? Confused, I left the game lobby. After a moment of thought, I sent Tina a message. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Half an hour later, she sent back a lazy reply, haha. Same. I smirked, saying nothing. I went to the meeting as planned. In front of the restaurant, a girl caught my eye. She was tall with a cool vibe, standing out effortlessly in the crowd. I ran over. Tina? She froze for a second, staring at me as if in a daze. Are you GC? Yep. I gave her a shy smile. You're even prettier than I imagined. You're also, she paused, choosing her words carefully. You're not what I was expecting. She didn't elaborate, but I knew. Because of what Tina had said, she had assumed I'd be frumpy and ugly. I was here today specifically to get back at Tina. Looking at Jasmine in front of me, I felt like I wasn't just getting even, I was coming out ahead. I worked up the courage and took her hand. Come on, let's go eat. Jasmine's body stiffened as she stared at me, her gaze intense. Jasmine was very thoughtful. She kept asking if I was tired from the long trip, if I was having trouble adjusting to the new city. We had so much in common. We talked and talked, completely losing track of time. It was past 10 at night. Jasmine offered to walk me back to my hotel. Standing at the hotel entrance, she looked hesitant. She was here on a mission, to get rid of me for Tina. GC? Call me Henry. That's my real name. Okay, Henry, I need to tell you something. Wait, I cut her off, pulling her into the convenience store next door. I'd never done something like this before, and it felt a little embarrassing. I steeled myself, grabbed a box of condoms from the counter. I'll take one box. Jasmine blinked. You're staying with me tonight, right? I looked at her hopefully. A pleading, whiny tone in my voice that I didn't even recognize myself. Jasmine looked down, her eyes narrowing. Are you serious? She tapped her phone to pay, not giving me a chance to back out. I leaned in and kissed her. She was like a quiet flood. At first, she was held back, calm and still. No matter how I tried to tease a reaction out of her, she wouldn't budge. Frustrated, I bit her lip, almost hard enough to draw blood. I said bitterly, "Are you not into this? If not, then forget it." The moment I pulled back, she suddenly grabbed the back of my head and, as if to prove a point, kissed me back fiercely. The dam broke. The passion was a surging, unstoppable torrent. She held me, kissing me from the elevator all the way to the hotel room door. Once inside, she forced out a sliver of rationality. Last chance to change your mind. But her ragged breathing gave her away. I slipped my hand under her t-shirt, which was answer enough. Jasmine was both gentle and wild. When she said my name, her voice was huskier than usual. "Henry, what about here?" I was completely lost in the moment, unable to pull myself away. As we were wrapped up in each other, Jasmine's phone suddenly rang. She glanced at the screen, her expression darkening. She declined the call. I asked, "Who was that?" "A friend." A moment later, it rang again. After the third time, Jasmine had to answer. "Jasmine, why weren't you answering?" "You scared me. I thought maybe you?" Tina's voice came through the speaker. In the quiet room, it was crystal clear. I pretended not to hear, continuing to boldly trace patterns on Jasmine's skin. Jasmine struggled to even her breathing. "I'm busy." Well, she wasn't wrong. Jasmine, I was just wondering, did you get rid of him?" Jasmine's beautiful eyes met mine. "Yeah, he's gone." I didn't plan on keeping Jasmine in the dark for long. The next morning, as we were fooling around one last time, I purposely called out her real name. Jasmine was slightly taken aback. "How did you know?" "I've known for a while, actually." She bit down on my collarbone. It was like she was annoyed but didn't want to hurt me. Afterward, Jasmine told me she'd been up all night, agonizing over how to bring it up. I asked the biggest question on my mind. "Why did you volunteer to meet me for Tina?" By now, Jasmine was dressed. "I'd had the cookies you made. They were really good. I just felt that a guy like you deserved some respect, even if you were getting dumped. I used to send Tina things all the time. Cookies I baked, pastries, things like that. Apparently, Tina never ate much of it, just passed it all off to other people. Then you should know," I said, a little apologetically, "that I only came to meet you to get revenge on Tina. I figured I was going to tell Tina everything about last night, with all the juicy details, just to make you two turn on each other. And now? But now I've realized she's a bitch, and you seem to be a decent person." She laughed, a sparkle in her eyes. "So you think pretty highly of me? Anyway, my issues with Tina shouldn't have involved you." Jasmine ruffled my messy hair. "Henry, let's make a deal." "What is it?" "Starting today, how about you try liking me?" After Jasmine left, I was still in a daze. Her words, which were almost a confession, had caught me completely off guard. But I quickly figured it out. It wasn't really a confession. She was just different from Tina. Her principals told her that if you sleep with someone, you should take responsibility. She only said that out of politeness. It wasn't like she actually liked me that much. As for Tina, she had already deleted me. She thought Jasmine had completed her mission and didn't hesitate for a second. She had no idea that Jasmine went behind her back and added me as a friend herself. Half a month later, I registered for classes at Tina and Jasmine's university. I was originally studying at a university in B City. To make meeting up with Tina possible, I had specifically applied for this exchange student spot. Now, I was still going to school here, but Tina and I were done. I finished my paperwork and an upperclassman gave me a tour of the campus. We passed by the Wall of Fame next to the cafeteria. I saw a picture of a vibrant-looking girl. Tina, with her chin up, flawless makeup, and one corner of her mouth corked up in a spoiled, wild smirk. The upperclassman said, "That's our school's famous little queen bee, Tina. Her family is powerful and influential in a city. You're better off not messing with her. She's on the Wall of Fame. Is she a good student?" "Nah," the upperclassman said. as if it were common knowledge. Her family's rich. They donated a library. What about this one? Next to Tina's photo was Jasmine's. The upperclassman clicked his tongue. TSK, Jasmine's the real genius. But she's even tougher to deal with than Tina. What do you mean? The upperclassman shushed me and lowered his voice conspiratorially. I heard her whole family is in the government. Even Tina has to be completely respectful around her. No wonder. Business people being scared of politicians made perfect sense. In the photo, Jasmine's face suddenly seemed distant. The upperclassman and I continued toward the cafeteria. A girl came running out toward us. She was tall, with a head of striking pink hair, strands sticking out untamed. The upperclassman nudged me. That's Tina. Jasmine, have you eaten? I can bring you something back, I'm just about to. She suddenly saw me and stopped short. Her eyes slowly widened, lighting up. For a split second, I wondered if Tina had recognized me. But the next second, she blurted out, "Holy crap. Jasmine, guess what? I just saw a super hot guy. Totally my type. A super hot guy." Tina was used to being the center of attention and didn't hold back at all. She was so loud that all the students around us turned to look at me. I looked down, just wanting to cover my face and get out of there. After that, Tina started following me. "Hey, what's your name? Are you a new student? Where are you from? You're not from a city, are you? What's your major? My name's Tina. If you need anything, just ask me. Somebody save me." I had absolutely no desire to talk to this moron. How did I ever get tricked into an online relationship with her? Downstairs from my dorm, Tina offered to help me carry my luggage up. She saw my name on the bed assignment. Henry? That's a really nice name. I kept a straight face and didn't say a word. Back when we were dating online, I used the name GC. Tina never knew my real name. Before she left, she tried to ask me out to dinner. I flatly refused. "Can I at least get your number then? If you need anything, you can just call me." I looked at her and suddenly found it hilarious. "Sure." Seeing me agree, Tina got excited. She scanned my QR code. On the screen, my username and profile picture popped up. GC. Tina froze. She just stood there, stunned. Her mouth hung slightly open in disbelief. You're GC? Yeah. I. She was speechless. I deliberately looked at her profile. Huh? Isn't this my ex-girlfriend's account? Did you steal my ex's phone? No. Did you hack my ex's account? That's not it either. Tina was dying of embarrassment. She had no idea how to explain. "I'm sorry, GC. I'll be honest with you. I am your ex-girlfriend. You're lying. I've met my ex-girlfriend. The one who met up with you that day was one of my friends. I had something come up last minute and couldn't make it, so I asked my friend to go for me. She looked so guilty. It was honestly pretty funny. She mentioned a few more details, trying hard to prove who she was. Finally, she asked cautiously, "Do you believe me now? If what you're saying is true, then you're a liar who tricked me into meeting someone else." No. The more she tried to explain, the worse it got. Tina was getting desperate. "You came all this way. It would have been awful of me to stand you up. That's why I had to come up with that plan. If you were so considerate, why did you break up with me right after? I thought we'd be long distance forever, and I didn't want to hold you back." So, I stared at her, maintaining a faint smile. She, however, couldn't smile back. Her face grew pale with guilt. "GC, no, Henry, if you don't believe me, I can have my friend explain it to you in person. No need to go to all that trouble. Then let me add you back." "No need for that either." I smiled brightly at her. "I have a rule. I don't go back to my exes." After I rejected her, Tina kept looking for other opportunities. She even bribed my roommate. Over the weekend, my roommate, Mark, dragged me to a shooting range. As soon as we walked in, I saw a familiar figure. Tina was grinning, showing off her pearly white teeth, and waving at me. I turned to leave. Mark grabbed me. "Henry, wait. Don't go." I gave him a cold look. I've never seen anyone sell out their roommate like this. "Hey, I'm friends with Tina. Just do me a favor. Tina's covering everything today and tomorrow. It's free, we might as well have some fun." I looked at Mark's fawning expression and made a mental note to keep my distance from him in the future. Tina walked over to me. Henry, I specifically invited my friend today to clear things up with you. What? She should be here any minute. Before I could say anything else, Tina waved at someone behind me. I turned around and my eyes met Jasmine's. We exchanged a silent glance. This is my friend, Jasmine. You met her that day. Met her and then some. I asked what exactly needs to be cleared up. I had something come up that day and absolutely couldn't make it, so I had Jasmine go instead. Right, Jasmine? Tina shot Jasmine a look, but Jasmine didn't say a word. Her silence made the atmosphere a bit awkward. Tina tried to signal her again while laughing nervously. She's just a quiet person. Silence means yes. Mark chimed in to help. I can vouch for that. Jasmine's not much of a talker. Oh, she's not much of a talker. I responded lightly. So I guess she also didn't tell you that on that night she and I intentionally left a hook, pausing my sentence. The looks on Tina and Mark's faces turned to panic. But wait, I could understand Tina panicking. Why was Mark panicking? What did this have to do with him? What did you and she do? He was even more nervous than Tina, staring desperately at Jasmine. I got it. He had a crush on Jasmine. We had dinner together, had a nice chat, and that was it. Is that right? Jasmine. Jasmine glanced at me. Yes. Everything Henry said is true. The two of them simultaneously breathed a sigh of relief. Did no one else notice the deeper meaning in Jasmine's words? Everything I said is true. Even if I were lying, I would still be right. Jasmine and I had reached a sort of understanding. No wonder you didn't reply to the 3 messages I sent you that night, Jasmine. Tina said you went to meet some guy from online. I was heartbroken for so long. Mark pulled Jasmine forward, deliberately leaving space for me and Tina. His clumsy little tricks were really annoying. I said to Tina, you and Mark should get together. You two are a good match. Don't be ridiculous. I barely know him, but that's not what Mark thought. What do you mean? I smiled without explaining. Tina had her own social circle. It was filled with girls like Jasmine, who weren't exactly ordinary students. Mark wanted to be part of that circle. Watching him run around for Tina today, it was clear he already considered himself a member. It's nothing. Tina, I'm telling you again, even if you get 100 people to come and vouch for you 1,000 times, I don't like you. Why? There has to be a reason. Weren't we good when we were dating online? Because I hate liars. Tina froze on the spot. I went into a private shooting lane. I'd never been shooting before and couldn't get the hang of it at first. Just as I was about to give up, a hand gently covered mine, helping me steady the gun. Like this. Jasmine's voice was right by my ear. I looked up at her, surprised. How did you get in here? Took me forever to shake Mark. Just let me have some peace and quiet in here. You don't like him? Never have. She paused, as if afraid I'd get the wrong idea. She took the initiative to explain. And I've rejected him explicitly. But he's a lot like Tina. Rejecting him a few times does nothing. Got it. Under Jasmine's guidance, I was finally able to hit the target. Just as I was feeling happy about it, she suddenly asked, why didn't you tell them the truth earlier? I didn't want to see you and Tina have a falling out. I'd been slowly figuring things out recently. Even though Tina was a total player when it came to relationships, she was surprisingly popular. There had to be a reason Jasmine was willing to be her friend. Besides, I said, if word of this got out, it wouldn't be good for your reputation either. I don't really care about that stuff. She looked at me, then changed her tune. But you're right. We should keep it quiet for now. She was worried about me, because I was the guy. She was more afraid of me being the one people would talk about. Another round? Okay. Her left hand rested on my waist, and her right hand held mine on the trigger. It was the perfect position to pull me into her arms. The moment the bullet hit the bullseye, we heard a voice from outside the door. Jasmine, are you in there? Mark said he can't find you. Tina pushed the door open. There was a prep table in front of me, about waist high. By the time Tina came in, Jasmine and I had already separated. Oh, you're both here. She looked us over, slightly surprised. Yeah, Jasmine responded calmly. I was just giving him some pointers on shooting. Mark doesn't know how either, you should teach him too. Stop trying to push him on me. I don't like him, how many times do I have to say it? Jasmine's tone didn't change at all, but it carried an inexplicable pressure. Mark heard her, and his face went pale. Tina, on the other hand, dropped her usual playful smirk. Then are you teaching Henry because you like him? The question was like a clap of thunder on a clear day. It was powerful, but for a moment no one responded. Before Jasmine could speak, Tina started laughing again. Just kidding. I said, that's not a funny joke. Yeah, it really isn't. Tina clicked her tongue. I regret letting Jasmine meet you for me. Otherwise, I'd be the one teaching you how to shoot. And whose fault is that? I asked back with a smile. Tina's eyes were large, with noticeable bags underneath them. When she got emotional, they would turn slightly red. Right now, even though she was still smiling, the skin under her eyes was clearly red. By the way, Jasmine, what kind of guys do you actually like? Jasmine said, someone who looks innocent, but refuses to be pushed around. That sounds like a specific person. Does it? Maybe. It felt like there was a subtle undercurrent flowing between us. Tina had no idea. Behind the prep table, Jasmine was still holding my hand tightly and hadn't let go. Back at school, Mark was down for a few days. He'd been rejected by Jasmine again. One night he asked me, Henry, why won't you give Tina a chance? I just don't like her. Are you just playing hard to get? I looked at him like he was insane. A girl as great as Tina. She's pretty, rich, and generous. Where else are you going to find someone like that? I don't give a damn if she has money. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Tina's relationships never lasted more than 2 weeks before. The fact that she's been chasing you this long means she's serious. You should be happy. I laughed. Relationships not lasting more than 2 weeks means she's a player and has no patience. What's there to brag about? You. Mark was getting angry. Don't take what you have for granted. Mark, do you know what you sound like right now? What? Like one of those lackeys in a TV show who follows the queen bee around. She farts and you treat it like a royal decree. Mark was about to explode. He launched into a tirade against me. It went in one ear and out the other. In the end, I only said one thing to him. Take my advice. Stop trying so hard to fit into a circle you don't belong in. A crack had formed in Tina and Jasmine's relationship. Although they still hung out, it felt more like a fake friendship. I play mobile games in my spare time, which is how I met Tina. Over the long weekend, the game company held an offline convention right in a city. Everyone in my dorm went. Mark wasn't originally interested, but when he heard everyone else was going, he insisted on tagging along. As luck would have it, we ran into Tina and Jasmine there. It was packed. We wanted to get lunch, but all the nearby restaurants were completely full. We couldn't find a single empty table. That's when Mark saw them. Tina, what a coincidence, you guys are here too. Tina and her friends were in a private room that wasn't full. Mark said casually, hey, why don't we share a table? There are 8 of us total, it's a perfect fit. Sure, my treat, Tina agreed readily. My phone buzzed with a message. Jasmine, did you see the swordswoman cosplayer? I glanced at Jasmine across the table. She was looking down, appearing calm and composed. We had been talking every day. We talked about everything under the sun, from our majors to video games. There was never a topic we couldn't discuss. It felt amazing to have found a kindred spirit. Me, I did. She was so badass. Jasmine, you liked it? Me, yeah, the swordswoman is my favorite character. Jasmine, I've been thinking about trying cosplay. Me, are you going to cosplay the swordswoman? Me, you'd be perfect for it. You have to show me when you do. Jasmine, I'll only show you. My heart suddenly tingled, like a current running through my whole body. I hadn't even had a chance to process the feeling. Beside me, Mark suddenly leaned over. Henry, who are you texting? I immediately flipped my phone face down. Don't look at my phone without permission. What's the big deal? He grumbled, looking displeased. I wasn't trying to be sneaky. You were smiling so happily. What's wrong with sharing? Was I smiling? Yeah, you were. The others chimed in. You looked really happy. Watching a funny video? Share it with us. I hadn't even realized I was smiling unconsciously. My gaze swept over to Jasmine. I saw a faint smile in her eyes too. They started a group chat on the spot. I had no choice but to share all the memes from my photo album. After a while, the topic shifted. A girl asked, "By the way, Jasmine, I heard you say you have a crush on a hot guy?" Jasmine nodded. "I do." "Wow, that's rare." Jasmine actually has a crush. It's not every day a flower blooms on an iron tree. Mark got anxious again. "Who? Is it a guy I know?" Jasmine said, "It's not convenient to tell you right now. Is he from our school?" "I don't want to say." Jasmine's lips were sealed. If she didn't want to say, you could ask until you were blue in the face and get nothing. Mark instantly deflated like a popped balloon and lost his appetite. Tina suddenly spoke up. "Jasmine, tell us so we can help you get some intel." "No need. I'm pursuing him." After Jasmine said this, the whole group looked at her, stunned. "Wow, so you're the type to make the first move." Jasmine smiled too. "It's rare to find someone I like, so of course I have to be proactive." "How are you pursuing him? Share some tips." Jasmine thought for a moment and said, "I'm gonna cosplay for him." I almost spit out my tea. Jasmine had no idea her words could be taken another way. But this group of experienced players immediately went there. "Wow, you're already at the cosplay stage. My mistake. I was worried you didn't know how to flirt, but it turns out you're a pro." Jasmine's face turned cold. "Get your minds out of the gutter and just eat." The girls immediately fell silent. And next to me, Mark could barely stay in his seat. He was officially heartbroken. He'd been out of it for a while now, but no one cared about his feelings. The girls he considered his friends didn't even glance his way. Halfway through the meal, the conversation returned to Jasmine. "Jasmine, you can't just cosplay for him. You have to spend some money. Get him a gift he'll like." "Already bought it. The limited edition watch from E." Another girl's head shot up. "You bought this year's limited edition watch?" "No wonder. There was only one in all of a city. My boyfriend wanted it. The brand said someone had already bought it. I was wondering what asshole got to it first." "Jasmine, my bad. My boyfriend sent me a picture of it too," another girl said. "It's beautiful. It has a sapphire set in the moon phase dial, and since it's limited edition, the price has an extra zero compared to the regular model." My stomach dropped. "No way. The one Jasmine gave me? She had just given it to me last week." I didn't want to take it at first, but she said, "I bought one for all the male relatives in my family, and I had one left over. Just take it and wear it for fun." It was the only one in the entire city. I felt a little uncomfortable. At that moment, my not-so-bright roommate had a sudden flash of genius. "Wait, a sapphire set in the moon phase dial?" I wanted to clamp my hand over his mouth, but it was too late. "Henry, show them the one on your wrist. My boy Henry has a watch like that, but it's definitely not the one you're talking about. Henry, let these damn rich people have a look." The good news: my roommate had no idea Jasmine gave it to me. The bad news: if I showed it, everyone would know. All eyes were on me, especially Tina's. The smile was gone from her face, her knuckles white from clenching her fists. Jasmine saw my predicament. She spoke up. "Forget it. Spare me the embarrassment. If a 100 watch looks as good as the 15,000 one I bought, I'll have a breakdown." She passed the topic off lightly with a joke. No one mentioned the watch again for the rest of the afternoon. After we got back to campus, I had to stop by a professor's office. My roommates went back to the dorm first. When I came out of the office, I saw Tina. She was standing alone in the shadows of the hallway. Without her usual bold smile, she actually looked a little gloomy. "Henry, I was waiting for you. You need something?" Tina looked me straight in the eye. "Can I see the watch on your wrist?" At this point, I felt there was no reason to hide it anymore. I took off the watch and held it out for her to see. "Clear enough for you?" The skin around Tina's eyes turned red again. "It's real." "Yep. Jasmine gave it to me. Is she pursuing you?" "She has been for a few months." "A few months, meaning since the day we first met." Tina's pupils contracted. Her fists were clenched so tight they were trembling. I curved my lips into a smile. Mad? Feel like punching her right about now? But Tina, it was you who pushed me right to her. Actually, Tina had suspected it for a while. But me admitting it and her just guessing were two completely different things. As I spoke, the color drained from Tina's face. Why did you date me online? Because you'd never dated anyone as broke and dumb as me. Why did you refuse to meet up? Because I'm from a small town, so I must be some ugly freak who isn't good enough for you. Why did you send someone else? Because you wanted them to get rid of me. Tina became agitated. Did Jasmine tell you all this? No, I heard it myself. I opened my phone and pulled up the game's chat history. The night before we were supposed to meet, I went invisible in your game lobby. I was originally going to surprise you, tell you I transferred to your school as an exchange student so we wouldn't have to be long distance anymore. I didn't expect you to surprise me first. She couldn't say a single word in her defense. You should actually be thanking Jasmine. She never said a single bad word about you. I'm sorry, Henry. I apologize for what I said. Tina bowed deeply to me. Her apology was more sincere than I could have imagined. I really was shallow before, but please believe me, I'm being 100% serious now. I want to have a real relationship with you. For the sake of the good times we had dating online, can you give me a chance? Then let me ask you a few questions. Go ahead. What flavor were the first handmade cookies I sent you? Tina hesitated. Milk flavor, I think. And the flavor I sent after that? Strawberry? Wrong. I told you I only know how to make chocolate. Tina was stunned. So, where are the cookies I made? I ate them too fast, I didn't notice. Don't say anything, let me guess. You couldn't be bothered, didn't even look at them, and just tossed them to your friends, maybe even to guys, right? My tone was calm. Tina, judging by your expression, I guessed right. You want to know how I guessed? Because I saw the cookies I made on Mark's desk. I still remembered how Mark looked then. He had his feet propped up on the desk, his heel right on top of the cookie box. This? Tina gave it to me, said I could just throw it away if I didn't want it. I thought it tasted pretty good. Do you recognize this box? Where can I buy it? I forced a bitter smile. That had been a piece of my heart. Even though I didn't like Tina anymore, it still hurt to have a heartfelt gesture treated like that. I pushed down the sadness and looked at Tina coldly. So, Tina, if you're going to blame someone, blame yourself. That night, news that rocked the entire campus exploded. Every dorm group chat was blowing up. Tina and Jasmine got into a fight, and both of them were sent to the hospital. Weren't they supposed to be good friends? All sorts of rumors were flying around. I didn't have time for that and rushed to the hospital to check on them. Mark had already given up on Jasmine. So when he saw the news, he just bit his lip and suppressed his curiosity. But what I didn't know was that after I left, Mark sent Tina a message. He went to the hospital. This is your chance. In the hospital, Tina received the message, her heart pounding with anxiety. She held on to a sliver of hope. The hope that I was there to see her. Because back when we were dating online, she had told me something. That she was actually terrified of pain. When she was little, whenever her mom's business wasn't going well, she would come home and whip her with a clothes hanger. To this day, Tina still has faint scars on her back. Ever since then, she's had a deep-seated fear of being hit. Given her personality, everyone assumed she'd be good in a fight. But in reality, she never got involved in things like that. The fight with Jasmine was a first. That afternoon, after returning to their dorm, Tina found Jasmine and grabbed her by the collar, demanding answers. But Jasmine replied, "You're the one who pushed Henry to me." I had said those same words. The synchronicity enraged Tina. Then Jasmine said, "On what grounds are you questioning me? As his ex-girlfriend's older sister? I'll win him back. Learn to respect him first, then we can talk about winning him back. Don't give me that crap." In her anger, Tina suddenly remembered something I had said. "Jasmine, tell me the truth. That night, did you two just have dinner?" Jasmine didn't answer. She wouldn't answer that question without my permission. But her silence said everything. Tina gritted her teeth. How far did it go? Holding hands? Kissing? Did you sleep together? Jasmine remained silent, but she didn't look away. Tina understood that look. On impulse, she swung her hand. But Jasmine was no pushover. She might be quiet and low-key, but she came from a family of military officers. In the end, Tina was hurt worse than Jasmine. Now, Tina was pacing in her hospital room. What should she say when Henry came in? A sincere apology, play the victim? He knew she was afraid of pain, that she didn't like fighting. He would definitely feel sorry for her, right? Tina paced and paced. She waited for an hour and got nothing. She pushed open the door and asked the nurse outside, "Has a tall guy with longish hair been here? Named Henry?" The nurse checked the visitor log. He went to the room next door. Next door was Jasmine. When I got to the hospital, I went straight to Jasmine's room. Thank God. She wasn't hurt too badly. I let out a sigh of relief. I heard you two fought so bad you were hospitalized. I was scared for a second. I thought. Jasmine soothingly stroked my hair. Thought it was like the movies with ruptured organs and everything? Yeah, that's terrifying. Don't worry, we're not kids. We know our limits. Pursed my lips. Tina's personality is no different from a kid's. Jasmine asked, "Have you been to see her?" "No." "You came to see me first?" "Yeah." She smiled, a genuine, heartfelt smile. "That's great. At least I didn't miss my chance this time." "What do you mean?" Jasmine cleared her throat twice. "GC, master. I don't quite get this problem. Can you teach me?" My eyes widened in an instant. "Wait, are you?" "It's me." Jasmine's eyes were smiling. Fragments of memories suddenly flashed back. Before I met Tina, I had registered for an account on some kind of academic forum. My username was GC. My profile picture was the dog my parents owned. One day, I came across a post. A user named O posted a calculus problem, saying they couldn't solve it. That was my specialty. I scribbled down the solution on a piece of paper, took a picture, and uploaded it. This user, O, immediately followed me and would send me messages from time to time. Sometimes it was to ask questions, sometimes it was just to share a book they had read. Later, life got busy, and I stopped logging into the forum. And then I met Tina in a game. And then Jasmine. "You're O?" I asked. "Yes." "Technically speaking, I actually knew you before Tina did." "Then why didn't you say anything?" "By the time Tina introduced you to us, you were already her boyfriend." From Jasmine's perspective, this memory was entirely different. Back on the forum, she already saw me as a genius and wanted to meet me in real life. She knew which university I attended, but not my major or my name. When Jasmine finally worked up the courage to ask me to meet up, I had already stopped logging on. She was disappointed for a while. For months later, Tina started playing games with a guy named GC. When she saw the username and profile picture, she froze. Tina said, "GC is my boyfriend. We just got together." At first, Jasmine was just suspicious. How could it be such a coincidence? The same username with the same profile picture. Later, I casually mentioned my university, which deepened her suspicion. To confirm her theory, Jasmine once posted a calculus problem in the public chat. Tina complained, "I have to see calculus even when I'm playing a game." "Jasmine, you might as well just kill me." But I sent the solution. Only then was Jasmine completely sure of my identity. But it was too late. She watched as Tina and I dated online and said nothing. She couldn't say anything. She waited for a long time and finally her chance came. Tina said she didn't want to meet up. On that day, Jasmine turned on her microphone. After hearing her explanation, it all clicked. "So you're a sapiosexual." Now that things were clear with Jasmine, I accepted her advances. "So from now on, I'm your girlfriend? Tina doesn't have a chance anymore, right?" Jasmine grabbed my head and kissed me hard. I said, "Control yourself, we're still in the hospital." "When was the last time I kissed you?" 6 months ago when we first met. It's been 6 months already. Every time I see you, I want to kiss you. It's been torture holding back." "That's an exaggeration. It's only been 6 months. You don't know," she said, her thumb brushing over my lips, her voice hoarse. "Once you've tasted something so good." Jasmine was breathtakingly beautiful. Her dark, shining eyes felt like they could pull me in. Just then, the door to the hospital room was pushed open. "What are you two doing?" Tina asked, her voice strained. "Don't get the wrong idea. I was just looking at Jasmine's eyes, from up close. There was no way we were actually going to do anything in a hospital room, not while Jasmine was injured." I said, "Isn't it obvious? I'm visiting my girlfriend." "Girlfriend?" "Yeah, we just got together. Like, a minute before you walked in." Tina's hand was still on the doorknob, but it was already trembling. Was I one step too late? I shook my head. "You already cut in line," and it turns out, cutting in line didn't work. Tina didn't understand what I meant. She didn't have the capacity to. "Henry. Yeah. Do you not care about me at all? I'm hurt worse than she is. I'm in a lot of pain. The doctors will take care of you." "But that's not what you used to say." Her eyes were completely red. I couldn't tell if it was from bloodshot eyes or something else. "You said you felt bad about my childhood, that you would help me heal." "Yes," I answered softly. "I tried. No matter the outcome. I really did try. During the time I dated Tina online, I was serious and invested. I would feel sad about her childhood. I would hate her mother right along with her. But she only opened up to me to make me fall for her even harder. A shallow person is ultimately hurt by their own actions. Now, I had to move forward. I was an exchange student at a university for a year, and then I had to go back to B-University in B-City. Coincidentally, Jasmine was from B-City. A year later, she graduated and returned to B-City as well. We stayed together. Tina never came back to school after that. She went abroad. It wasn't until the day she left that I realized. When she said she was genuinely in love with me now, it turns out she wasn't lying. The day came when even Tina couldn't let someone go. Because she couldn't let go, her only option was to run away to another country. The day she got on the plane, she sent me a message. "GC, see you if fate allows." I replied, "No fate, so we'll never see each other again." As for Mark, after returning to B-City, I didn't keep up with him. Come to think of it, after Jasmine and I got together, he barely spoke to me. But he never did anything to hurt me either. I think he must have really liked Jasmine. Liking someone isn't a crime, and I had no reason to hold it against him. I graduated from B-University and was accepted straight into a grad program. On graduation day, I got a message from Mark. "Henry, even though we were only roommates for a year, I wanted to say congratulations on graduating and wish you all the best for the future." I knew he had moved on. I smiled and replied, "Wishing you a bright future too." I put my phone away and looked up into the distance. Jasmine was standing there, holding a bouquet of flowers, here for my graduation ceremony. A phrase suddenly came to mind. "Look forward. The right person is in your future."